So continuous integration is another important responsibility of a DevOps or a build engineer. Okay, so where our team or ourselves are responsible to implement this process in the project development. Okay, so what is continuous integration and how do we implement it? All those things we'll see from now onwards. Okay, now if anybody gone through my demo or the guys who attended my demonstration are given continuous integration as an example of about this role. Okay, see, I explained a continuous integration. Similarly, there are so many other responsibilities are there, so if you want you can recollect that as well, but anyway I'm going to repeat the same thing again. So what exactly continuous integration is? See, typically in the earlier days the software development lifecycle is something like this. First, you will be having a requirement analysis phase. Okay, so this is a requirement analysis where the project management team will gather the requirements, and you will be having a design phase. Okay, this is a typical waterfall model. Okay, and then after that you will be having the most of the time, 70% of the time will go for the development. This is the important phase, development phase. Okay, so once the development is done, then QA phase. Okay, QA is a testing phase. Okay, and once this is done, then production. Okay, production is nothing but sending it to the production servers, sending it to the live. Okay, this a typical project will undergo through entire all these stages and it will go to the production. Okay, so 15-20 years before, what happened is they don't have any, they don't have any kind of a process to fix the issues once they get delayed and all. Okay, example I would say, I'll give one issue first, then you can understand much better. So they didn't face any problems in these two phases as well as these two phases. The most of the problems they are facing in the development phase. Okay, and as it is consuming the 70% of your time, okay, 60 to 70% of your entire release time, right? If you see a single issue also, there is a chance of your project is getting delayed. Okay, so if your project get delays, right, your customer may not be happy. Okay, your client may not be happy, or your client may be losing the trust on you. Okay, and your client may need to convey his customers. So there's so many things are there. Okay, so in those days the software products are very few, guys. Okay, you can count the service based companies in those days. But at the moment, as the industry is completely changing, okay, technology revolution is happening, there's so many companies come into the picture, and in this competitive world, right, they are coming with new solutions. Okay, and they're saying at any cost they are not going to get delayed the project and they can deliver on time. Okay, now how they are giving that kind of a confidence to the client? Okay, and what kind of methodologies they are following in within their process? Okay, so if they follow the conventional, this old methodology, they cannot achieve that. Okay, so they are trying to follow something new. That's the reason they could able to deliver the things on time. Okay, so how exactly they improve the process? They didn't concentrate much on these two phases. Okay, but they concentrated more on the development phase, because that is what the culprit of our deliverables, delay deliverables. Okay, crossing the deadlines and all. So now how they're gonna streamline this? First of all, let me give you one problem. This is one of the problems. So typically what happens, take about a project. Okay, and this is having 20 modules, right? So every module will not start on the day one itself. Okay, day one first module, day two second module. Okay, like this, day three is third module. Okay, so finally at the end of the day, all 20 modules will be finished. Okay, but these 20 modules, they work kind of independently, they don't work together. Okay, and at the end of the day, the project manager says integrate all the 20 modules. When you integrate all the 20 modules, okay, so integrate all modules at the end of the development phase. Okay, this is how they used to do. At the end of the development phase, they used to integrate it. But when they integrating nothing but a simple thing is, I'll give you one simple example. Take a banking application. Okay, there are these many modules: deposits, okay, withdrawals, and balance checking. Okay, and credit cards, okay, loans, blah blah blah. There's so many modules are there, okay. All these modules they develop independently, okay, but at the end of the day you have to integrate all of them. You cannot have just deposit, you cannot give deposits module to the bank and use it, right? It's not going to work out. You should have an entire banking solution. So the entire banking solution is all together. Now at the end of the day they have to integrate all these modules. When they're integrating all these modules, don't think like the integration is 100% successful, okay, because this is not written by a robot or something like the smart guy who knows everything in and out and they can expect everything, because this is written by typical humans. The code is written, okay. These guys may assume something like the balance might be some the balance might be like the balance code might be something, okay, and these guys will deploy something and that may lead some different values, okay. Same thing with withdrawal, same thing with the credit card. So they don't communicate each other, they don't follow the same design patterns, okay, same logics and all. At some point of time, maybe 90% they will follow, but 10% they might be like misleading it. So that will cause the problems, and those problems are called integration issues, okay. And these integration issues can be n number, okay. It can be 10, it can be 100, it can be 1000, okay. So think about, if it is 1000, okay, if it is 1000, how you gonna fix it, okay. So assume like now I got $1,000, okay, 1000 integration issues. Now the project manager responsibility is to like somebody take the responsibility and fix this. Fixing the $1,000 within a day, like you hardly have a couple of days to, sorry, here to the production, okay. So to give it to the QA, right, you hardly have a couple of days to give it to the QA. Now in this couple of days you cannot fix the $1,000, okay, and the project manager asked all the development team, and the development said we would need at least 15 days time to fix this $1,000, okay. Now if he needs a 15 days time, the deadline will go here, okay, and the QA will take more time and production will take another 15 days. So the delay will be 15 days. Your entire planning is gone now, okay. So this is one type of issue, okay, integration issues, if you do at the end of the day. So for this, the project management people, they come up with the one solution, okay. That solution is, what we will do it, let's not integrate at the end of the day. See, they're trying to integrate at the end of the development phase, right? Let's not do that. Let's do it from the beginning itself, okay. So when modules like M1 and M2 modules are ready in the day 1, day 2 itself, okay, try to integrate both of them, M1 plus M2, okay, M1 plus M2, right, integrated. You may not find $1,000, maybe you may find like $5 to $10, okay. Now it is your responsibility. This is the first day, okay, first day. Now in a second day, what you're supposed to do it, first fix first day integration issues, okay, then proceed with M3 or M4, whatever, okay. Now when you're proceeding with M3, right, you should include M1 plus M2 again, okay. Then again you will get some some bucks, okay, $10, okay. Next third day, okay, fix yesterday's issues plus M5 plus M6, whatever. So what exactly the process is trying to say is, you have to integrate every day, okay. Whatever the code is ready, you have to integrate and fix it, integrate and fix it, so that what will happen at the end of the day, okay, end of the day entire code would be integrated, and you hardly find like $5 to $10, and fixing $5 to $10 hardly will take a day or two, not more than that, okay, and you can release on time, okay. So this is called a concept of continuous integration, okay, continuous integration. So the project management will do continuous integration in the project from the day 1 itself. Whenever the project starts, from then itself the continuous integration should start, and we have to keep fix the integration issues from the day 1. Don't expect at the end of the day integrate it and do the continuous integration fixes, okay. So this is what the solution. Problem is integration issues, and the solution is a continuous integration. So now the thing is, these kind of, this is one of the problem which you are facing, and we could able to fix it with the help of the continuous integration. With this, we can avoid the delays, okay. With the help of this, right, you can prevent the issues in a prior phase, prior time, okay. And you can order to wait until this end of the phase. You can prevent the issues prior the in the prior stages, instead of after that giving it to the QA, Okay, so with the help of this, right, you have each team will be having a proper communication between all the teams. Okay, you'll be having a proper bonding, and you will write a good code, and which can be like communicated to all the teams. Okay, that's advantage of the continuous integration. Now everything is good. There is a problem, there is a solution, but who will do it? Okay, that's where the DevOps guys or build engineers will come into the picture. Okay, now we are the guys supposed to perform the continuous integration. Okay, you might be thinking, okay, that's it, right? If you do the continuous integration, that we are done. Okay, doing the continuous integration is not so easy. Okay, so to perform the continuous integration, you should have some skill set. Okay, right, so the skill set is you should know the build process. Okay, you should know the version controlling system, right, VCS system, SVN and all. So if you know these things, then only you can do the build. And guys, integrating is nothing but building only. Okay, and building the running the unit test, that's it, right? So you have to do all this thing. That's the reason we learned first the build and the build process, and as well as the version control system, right? Now, okay, that skill set I have it. Next, how I do it. See, who is done. Now how I do it. As of now, I'm just talking about the context. We will do the continuous integration, but how I will do the continuous integration. Okay, so to do the continuous integration, the inputs for you is, okay, inputs for you is source code unit. See, the developers write some source code, right? That is what the most important input. Okay, and you need a build machine. Okay, a machine you need it. It can be Linux or Windows server. Okay, and you would need some build tool. Okay, this tool you already know, Ant or Maven. Okay, right? And reporting nothing but you need to send an email with all the issues to the who is the responsible. Okay, so reporting nothing but send an email, send it to the developers like, these are the issues, you need to fix it. How, otherwise how they will be knowing which issue they have to fix it. Okay, so these are all the steps you have to do it for every project. Think about to do all these steps. Okay, you are spending 1 hour, guys. Assume you're spending 1 hour to perform all these things. Okay, so in your company you have 200 projects. Okay, for one project 1 hour, for 200 project 200 hours. Okay, and you have to do it every day, almost 5 times you have to do it. Okay, every day 5 times you have to do it, and each project will take 1 hour. There are 200 projects, and assume you are the only one guy to do. Think about this. What is the scenario? Would you be able to do this? Impossible. You cannot do it. Okay, a single guy running the continuous integration builds for 200 projects, and that too 5 times in a day. It's practically impossible, because you should be kind of Superman and having 10 computers in front of you and keep on running like anything, right? So this is completely manual headache. You are not supposed to do it like this. Okay, so don't do it like this. Instead, in the market we have some continuous integration tools like Jenkins, Bamboo, TeamCity, okay, BuildForge, Continuum, okay, Anthel Pro. The many other, it's a big list actually. If you wanted to know, you can just Google it and look at the first Wikipedia page. You can find all the tools. Just search it with the keyword called C tools. Okay, here is go. See anything about continuous integration. So you can see all the tools what are all available here. Somewhere you can find it. It's not there here. Let me. Can you see this? Google itself is giving you. Anthel Pro I said, Continuum I said, Bamboo I said. These I didn't say, but there are many other. Okay, you look at this wiki. Now here we have all the tools. Okay, this is it. This is what the final. This is what I'm trying to find it out. So these are all the list of tools available to perform the continuous integration. Okay. Right? So if you get a chance, you just look into it. See, guys, even I didn't work on all of the tools, okay, and nobody will be working on all of the tools. Simple thing, I'll ask you a question. A company will use any one of it, not all of them. Okay, so depend on your client requirements or your company's requirement, you can choose any one of it. But all of the tools does the same job, and among them you have a open source as well as a proprietary. You can choose any one of it. So this Jenkins is an open source one, Bamboo is a proprietary, TeamCity is a proprietary, Billforge is a proprietary, this is open source, and then Full is a proprietary. Okay, so among all these tools, I would say Jenkins is the most popular, and 60% of the people they use this. 60 to 70%, not only 60, 70% of the companies they use the Jenkins. Okay, that's the reason. If you know the Jenkins, you don't have to worry about it. You can learn other tools by yourself. It's not a big deal to learn it. Okay, so you should know at least one CA tool to get into the market. So if you go with a DevOps or build engineer role to the market, right, they will definitely ask you, do you know any continuous integration tool? Did you ever implemented the continuous integration in your company? Okay, and if you implemented, how? Okay, which tool you use it? Okay, if it's Jenkins, right? So then they'll start asking in the Jenkins, okay, how did you set up a Jenkins? Okay, how did you set up the jobs? How did you run multiple projects? Okay, so those are all, we'll see it as part of the continuous integration. Okay, now as part of our training, I'm going to take you towards the Jenkins tool, guys. Okay, so any questions still here? Is it clear what is continuous integration? A module, nothing but, guys, nobody will start a big project from the day one itself. Okay, so typically the project will be divided into multiple modules and sub modules as well, and they do it individually. So let's begin with Jenkins. Okay, now let me give, okay, if you want a proper technical definition of continuous integration, you type it in the Google, you will get it. Continuous integration. Okay, can you see this? Is a development practice. This is not a tool and all, it's a development practice. You're saying something. Yeah, guys, you don't worry about the modules and all. That is taken care of project management. Okay, so from your point of view, your role is to perform the continuous integration. That's it. Okay, a module, you see, you can have n number of modules in a project. Okay, by using agile methodology, they can segregate. See, using whether it is the agile, where is a waterfall, where is a spiral model, and any modules will be there. Okay, so don't think there won't be any modules. Okay, any modules will be there. This is irrespective of the process model. So CI, continuous integration. So think sometimes few project managers, few guys in interviews, they ask you CI nothing but continuous integration. Okay, is a development practice, requires developers to integrate code into the shared repository several times in a day, each check-in then verified by an automated build, allowing teams to detect problems early. Can you see this? Allowing teams to detect problems early, nothing but they need to detect the problems early before they give it to the QA or to the next stage and all. Okay, so every day you have to do it n number of times. You nothing but you have to set up some tool to do it. Okay, you cannot do it manually. That's what the CA. Okay, so now let's see how to set up a Jenkins system in our project development. Okay, so first of all, let's see some introduction about the Jenkins. Jenkins is a open source tool. Okay, now Jenkins is a successor of Hudson. There is one more tool called Hudson is there, guys. Okay, this is a pretty, I mean, it's not a old tool. Actually, the Jenkins tool is developed on top of Hudson. Actually, if you know the Jenkins, right, you can keep Hudson also in your resume, because earlier we used to have 5 years before only Hudson. Okay, and this is developed by a guy called Kosuke Kawagachi. Chinese or Japanese, I don't know who is this guy, but he's in US. Okay, Kosuke Kawagachi, he's the guy who developed the Hudson. Okay, and this is a story before, when Hudson used to be part of the Eclipse organization, and Eclipse is part of the Sun Microsystems. Okay, so Sun Microsystems owns what? Java. This is a completely open source and freely available to everyone. Now, after Oracle acquired the Sun Microsystem, okay, they completely removed the open source concept, and this Koshuke, the developer who developed the Hudson, he came out from the Oracle, okay, and he started the same product Hudson with a different name called Jenkins. The reason he cannot make use of the Hudson name as it is legally, because he's just an employee. He's not a kind of a founder of Jenkins, okay. He developed the Hudson under the Eclipse organization, okay. So that's the reason he cannot make use of the Hudson, but he made use of entire source code, guys. If you look at the Jenkins source code, right, somewhere you can definitely find Hudson few code lines inside the Jenkins source code, okay. So the Jenkins is a completely cloned copy of Hudson, okay. Only thing is the name is different, okay. And this guy developed it, and he is giving more support to the Jenkins. He left the Hudson, and when he left the Hudson, entire companies and whoever is using Hudson, they migrated to Jenkins, including me. I used Hudson earlier in 2006 and 7, in 7 and 8. Then after 8, I started migrated to the Jenkins. Okay, the reason this guy came out, and because the reason why people will follow this guy is he gives a solution for most of the problems. But in Hudson, once he left, I don't see many of the guys are using Hudson. Okay, everybody migrate to the Jenkins. Okay, so that's the story behind the Jenkins and Hudson. And important, this question is asked in many interviews. Okay, so you know what is Hudson and Jenkins. Okay, how Jenkins is started. So you can tell the story. Even this story I find it in some article in the net. Okay, fine. Now I wanted to okay, let me show you who is Koshuke Kawaguchi. Kawaguchi. Yeah, this guy. He is the guy. Okay, now this guy started a company called Cloudbase. Okay, Cloudbase is a company. You can it's yeah, the link is there here. He is now chief technology officer of this company. Okay, so this company, Cloudbase company, will give you Jenkins as a cloud solution. Like, you remember the GitHub, how they are giving the GitHub Git repository as a cloud solution. Similarly, Jenkins also they are giving as a cloud solution, so that you don't need to set up anything. They will set up the Jenkins server to you. You just start to make use of it. Okay, he's the guy, chief technology officer. Okay, so let's make use of the Jenkins. You might be thinking, okay, is it a paid one? Jenkins is not a paid one, guys. If you wanted to take it in the cloud, then you have to pay, okay. But if you wanted to take the open source one, right, you just go to the jenkins.io. okay, this was the official website, open source website. You just go there, jenkins.ca.org. What the, okay, spelling mistake, JAEN, single N. What is exactly website? Okay, .io, jenkins.io. Yeah, this is what the official website, and from here you can download the Jenkins for freely, guys. Okay, you can download and you can set up. So this is the story behind the Jenkins and who developed it. Okay, now this is an open source one. As I told you, it's a platform independent. Okay, platform independent, nothing but you can install any operating system. Okay, and it's a web tool. First of all, this is most important. It's a web tool. Web tool, nothing but just like a Bitnami, you remember. Okay, that's a kind of a web tool. So you will be having a nice web UI dashboard, and from there only you have to set up everything, all the build process and all. Okay, so installation, first we'll see the architecture. Okay, and then installation. So the architecture, let me take through the diagram. So when it comes to architecture, it typically follows the client-server architecture. So you will be having a server, okay, and this we call as a Jenkins server, okay, and it has another name called master. Okay, you can call Jenkins server master. So you will install the web tool here, guys. Okay, so here the web tool you install. Now you are sitting here. This is yourself. Okay, and this is your laptop. Okay, in your laptop, what you will do it, you will try to access the Jenkins in a browser. Okay, as it is a web tool, you try to access in a browser. That's it. Okay, you try to access in a browser. So this is an independent server, and it can be any server. It can be a Linux or it can be a Windows. That's it. I told you, right, it's cross-platform. So if you set up only the Jenkins server, okay, so what will happen, it will perform the builds and all, everything is good. Okay, now I'll give you one simple mathematical calculation. One project, okay, one project will take 1 hour time, guys. Okay, now in your company you have 20 projects. Okay, right, and how many hours it will take it? 20 hours, right? Now the thing is, your management says don't run the CI builds in the daytime, try to run them from 12 a.m. to 6 a.m. This is what the time. So 12 a.m. to 6 a.m. how many hours you have it? 6 hours. Okay, now this was the problem statement for you guys. Now in these 6 hours you have to perform all the 20 products build, but can you able to perform all the 20 products? You cannot in this master server, because if you do it one by one sequentially, right, at max you can do the 6 projects builds. Okay, remaining 14 projects, who will do it? You cannot do it, okay, in a day. Okay, so how to do this? So if this is a kind of a situation comes with the Jenkins, right, Jenkins can extend to support multiple product builds with the help of clients. Okay, you can choose one more Linux server or Windows server. Okay, like it can be n number of, let me choose 3 servers. Okay, you can assume, like, you procure 3 more servers in your data center. Okay, wherever, in a server room or data center, wherever. So what you will do it, so you name this as a Jenkins slave 1. Okay, and this is a JS2, Jenkins slave 2, and this is a JS3. So now what I will install a small Jenkins process here, client process. Okay, here the client will, Jenkins client will be running. Now what I will do, I will attach these 3 servers to the master server. I will attach these 3 servers to master server. How I'm attaching, I'll show you. Okay, don't worry about it, but diagram, try to understand architecture. Okay, so now if my Jenkins is something like this, okay, I can easily perform this 20 products build. How, I'll tell you. The thing is, how many products have it? 20, right? Okay, now from 6 a.m. to 12 a.m. to 6 a.m. 6 hours is there. Now I'll distribute the load now. So I'll run 3 projects. I'll run the 4 projects here. Okay, 4 products from 12 to 6. See, in each build server, how many products you can do it in 6 hours? 6, 6, 6, and here 6. Total how many? 24 products you can support in the total, these 3 including the master. Okay, so now what I can do it, I will run each server. Here I will run 6. Okay, 12 a.m. to 6 a.m. Okay, and in this server I will run 6 jobs. Okay, and in this server I will run the 6 jobs. Right, total how many completed from 12 a.m.? 18 jobs are completed, 18 parts are completed. How many left? 2. So those 2 I will run it in the master. Okay, you might be thinking why you are running less in the master. See, why I'm running less is the master server needs to run the Jenkins software also. So if you try to run 6 parts here, right, the load will be heavy in your master. So that's the reason most of the time we shouldn't run the project builds in the master. Try to what do you call, forward your traffic or your build load to your client machines. Okay, because in client machine only client will be running, that's it, nothing else. But here your master server will be running, where master server nothing but Jenkins software itself is running, so it takes a little more load. Okay, and you know what, if one of the client goes down, right, only these projects, 6 projects will be stopped. Okay, remaining 6 will be running, keep running. But if this goes down, your entire Jenkins is down. Okay, so that's the reason, never put more load on your master. Try to forward, share the load with all the time with your client. So with this we can distribute the load, and you know what, now in 6 hours I can perform 20 products build. Okay, tomorrow this is not 20 products. Okay, your management came and say, like, we have increased the number of projects, now we have, like, 30 projects. Okay, if with 30 projects, I'll simply say, like, okay, 30, right? Yeah, that should be fine. What I will do it, I'll add one more server. Okay, I'll add one more server and I'll attach that to my master. Okay, now once I attach it, now this server supports another 6 jobs. Simple. Okay, 6 fours are now 24. Okay, and I can say 6 here, or if I don't want to run anything in the master, I'll add one more server. It's up to us. Okay, this is how the typical Jenkins architecture has been defined. Guys, did you understand the Jenkins architecture? Okay, it's a client server architecture. Your Jenkins master is a server, and these are all the slaves. And from your guys, these are all completely servers, all of them. Okay, and this is what your laptop, and you will be performing every operation from a browser. That's it. You do everything from a browser. Did you understand the architecture? All of you, how it is running, the Jenkins system. Balu, Hemant, did you get it? Ask me if you don't understand. Okay, cool. So now the same architecture I'm going to reproduce now. Reproduce nothing but I'm going to set up now. Okay. So how to set up this in our environment? Okay. So at the moment, I don't have these many servers. I hardly have one or two servers. Okay. Now what I will do it, I'll try to set up the Jenkins server on Linux machine. Okay. And I'll try to set up two slaves, guys. Okay. One is a Windows slave. This I'll set up as a Windows slave. Okay. And I'll set up one as a Linux slave. That's it. You can set up any operating system. So I'm not setting up these two to the other two. I'm setting up one server and two slaves. One is a Windows slave, one is a Linux slave. And this Windows slave also, I'm not taking any other server. I'm using my laptop itself as a Windows, guys. Okay. But in the real time, don't use a laptop as a slave. But in real time, you will get a Windows server as well. Okay. But at this moment, for your demonstration, I'm using my laptop, my Windows laptop itself as the one of the slave. Okay. So first of all, let's try to install the master. See, first we'll install the master, then we'll see about the slaves and all. Okay. So installation. Okay. So download, and remember, guys, we can install this in several ways. Okay. So download war file, okay, and run it. That's it. It's a simple way of installing. And other way is download application server. It can be any application server, okay, Tomcat, WebLogic, whatever, okay, and deploy war file. This is one way. Okay, so you can do it, but whichever the way you do it, the prerequisite is you should have JDK installed. Without that you cannot run, guys. So Java master should be there. JDK nothing but Java. Okay, so without that you cannot run it, because Jenkins itself is developed in the Java. Okay, so this is what my machine, guys. Now I'm having Java here, Java hyphen version. Yes, I have a Java. Okay, now let's try to set up our Jenkins over here. Now I said download the jar file, right? So this is what the Jenkins, and try to download this. Copy link address. So I hope you know, guys, what is wget command. Wget will download it. Let it download.
How much knowledge of Java we should have for this? So basically, we're looking for else in
If
depth
you have
coding.
a basic, that's more than enough. You know to write any coding and all. See, when I say Java, not nothing, but if you know the Java coding language, that's really good. Even if you don't know, is also not a problem. But have some basic knowledge. What, like how to compile, which command, Java C, how to run Java command, what is JDK, what is JRE, what is Java virtual machine. Okay, so what is the extension of a class binary file. Okay, what is a jar file, what is a var file. So this terminology you should understand first of all. Okay, if you don't even understand terminology, it is very difficult. Nobody will ask you, a build engineer, to write a Java code, or like tell me the syntax of some interface or class and all. So those are the coding related. You don't to have coding related knowledge, but you should have something terminology knowledge. Okay. Cool. That's done now. So I've downloaded the WAR file, guys, which is of almost 68 or 70 MB. Okay. So to run a Jenkins is a simpler way is try to run like this. Java space hyphen jar Jenkins.war. That's it. This will set up Jenkins in your server. Okay. I'm setting up the server now, which is a master. So once it is properly up and running, you should be able to access that with the IP address of your machine. Okay. So 20.16 on a port number 8080. So wait for its completion because it will take few seconds or few minutes. Guys, copy this SHA and some. Can you see this? Alphanumeric number. Just keep it with you. Okay. Now I don't think is it a 20.16? What is the IP address of it? Let me check. Duplicate session. Vagrant. 15.16. Okay. Vagrant. 16.10, guys. Nobody is giving the right value. 16.10. Uh, that's why it is not coming up. Okay. So unlock Jenkins. Why this unlock is because can you see this password here when you run it? Take this password and put it over here. Okay, and continue. Now Jenkins is setting up. Just wait for a while. Customize Jenkins. Okay. So this is a newer version, guys. In newer version, you have all these features, but just follow what I say. Plugins extend Jenkins with additional features to support many different needs. So in a Jenkins, plugins is nothing but external task in Ant, plugins in like Maven. Okay, so you can have I mean in Jenkins you have n number of plugins to perform different purposes. Okay, so right now install suggested plugins, select plugins to install. So this is an option where you can choose what are you wanted. At the moment you are a layman, you don't know anything, you just take whatever the Jenkins suggests, you choose this. Like guys, simple thing, when you're installing any software in Windows, you remember typical installation, custom installation. Now we are doing the typical one, not the custom one. Custom one nothing but you have to choose what you want it. Okay, now it is doing the typical one. Typical one nothing but, so these are all the typical used plugins in your day-to-day life. Okay, so these are all installing now, getting started, nothing but. And make sure you have internet connectivity when you're running this, because it tries to download all the software from internet. Okay, if you don't have net connectivity, you cannot install this. Guys, if you want, you can start paralleling your machines as well, because anyway it's something like a waiting period, right? Start downloading it, and it's pretty easier one. There's nothing big installation. Go to Linux and try to run the command, download it first. Okay, wget, sorry, not this, the download war file. Okay, then try to run java space -jar jenkins.war. That's okay. So while it is going on, it will give you a SHA and sum. I mean a checksum value. Okay, checksum, copy it, and in a browser you try to access with http IP address colon 8080. That's it. And I've seen, like, there are few jobs only for Jenkins. Okay, if you are good at Jenkins, you may get a job only on Jenkins as well. It depends. Okay, few jobs only on the Ant and Maven, few jobs only on Git and SVN. Okay, it depends on company's requirement. Don't think like you'll be working all at once. Okay, or maybe one or two, or maybe one. But I've seen many of the jobs on Jenkins actually. So if you are good at Jenkins, then sometimes you may get selected only for the Jenkins as well. What the hell, it's going to take more time, guys. Free trial is also there. If you want, you can try the cloud-based free trial. You can set up this in anywhere. You can have a Docker one, you have on-premises. AWS Azure as well is there. Okay. This is a 14-day free trial. This is in the cloud, guys. Don't worry about it. few more seconds. Another 3 plugins are there. I changed my machine name in GoToMeeting. Okay. Almost done. Yes. Okay guys. Now you can set up an admin password. So I'm going to be an admin, 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 admin. Okay. So continue as an admin. Just continue as an admin. Jenkins is ready. Start using it. Okay. So this is what your home page of Jenkins, guys. Any questions still here? Did you find it is difficult? No configuration, nothing, everything graphical user interface. Okay. Anybody can do it who knows how to operate a Windows operating system. That's it. Okay. So let's try to prepare this architecture. Okay. Right now, I just completed this part. What I'm trying to do is nothing, guys. Just trying to say I have completed the Jenkins master part, okay, by sitting in my browser, and with the help of my browser I could able to successfully access my Jenkins, right? Now the thing is I have to set up the slaves. There are four slaves are there here, but I'll try to set up two slaves, guys, okay. This is slave 1, Windows slave, okay, and this is another slave, Linux slave. So as a Windows slave, what I will do, I'll try to choose my Windows machine as a slave, okay. So look at the steps how I'm doing it. To configure a slave, can you go to the manage Jenkins? And remember guys, there is no documentation for Jenkins. It's a completely graphical user interface. You follow how I'm doing it. Okay, go to the manage Jenkins. No coding, no scripts, no commands. Just like how do you browse your Facebook? That's a kind of a tool it is. Okay, you just have to browse it. That's it. So here in the manage Jenkins, we can find an option called manage nodes. Okay, can you see the manage nodes? Click on the nodes. A node is nothing but a slave. Your default, when you set up Jenkins server, you'll be having a master. Okay, so this is what your master, right? That's I already told you, it's a master. Okay, now your job is to create a new node which is a slave to attach to your master. So I'm creating a Windows slave. Okay, permanent agent, say okay. You can give any name, guys. I gave Windows slave, right? You can give anything. Let's say Windows slave 1, something like this. Okay, so you can give description anything. My Windows build machine to perform blah 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 whatever. Okay, .NET builds. Okay, something like that. So remote root directory. So now in your Windows machine, okay, so assume this is what your Windows machine, right? In your Windows machine, okay, where do you want to check out the source code? Okay, so here I wanted to check out the source code at D drive, okay, in some folder. Let me say JC1. What happened? JC1. Okay. So just choose this folder and try to provide the directory over here. Okay. Next, how do you want to launch this slave? Okay. So launching, you do it with the help of the this option, command on master, not command on master. There's one more is there. Web start. Choose this web start, guys. Okay. So that's it. Don't do anything. Save it. Now you have a Windows slave configured, but the thing is, it is not actually connected. A virtual configuration is there now. Okay, but it's not actually connected. It's not connected actually. Okay. So to make the connection, right, now what you're supposed to do it, you have to log in, physically log into the machine. This machine you have to log in physically. Okay. Now right now this machine is nothing but my laptop only. Now what I'm trying to do it, I export. I'm just trying to open my laptop. Okay. In my laptop. Okay. What I will do it, whatever the link given by, see, click on this Windows slave, and this is a link. What you're supposed to do it, this will give you a link to you. Okay. Slave port is disabled. Go to security configuration screen and change it. There's some other new feature, guys. This is not there earlier, so let me configure this. Okay, so there is a disable is there. Choose some random port, guys. Okay, apply, apply. Now go back to the node. This is Windows Slave 1. Okay, now this link is there, right? This link, you go to your machine. See, don't confuse. I'm trying to copy this link from the server to. I'm now again physically going to the machine, the slave machine, and I'm trying to open there that link. Okay, just click it, just put it over here, and try to log in with your admin. Now you are doing in the slave machine, guys, the physical slave, not in the server. Okay, now you're not doing from your laptop also. You're physically connected to this machine. Okay, now in this machine you open a browser and you put this and you logged in. Okay, and then what happened? It's not admin. If you are system administrator and suspect this is a bad configuration problem, it's a username, guys. It's not email ID. It's asking username only. My username is admin only, right? What is there over here? It's an admin. If you want, I can change the password as well. Let me try to change. I don't know what password I given there. So I'm resetting my password. Admin. Apply. Okay, let me try to log in again. Okay, maybe I would have given wrong password, guys. I resetted password from there. Now, in this slave machine, you have to run this command. I mean, not command, this launch button. Okay, so when you launch button, it will ask you to allow, and these are all you are doing physically on this machine, slave machine. As I don't have a separate server or laptop to do that, I'm doing it in my own laptop. Okay, so it will open this and it say connected. Can you see connected? This small process will be running on your slave machine, which is here, this slave machine. Now it is running. So once it is running, right, it's connected now. Okay, you can remove this crossbar. It's connected. Okay, right? It's connected now. You might be thinking, how do you say it is connected? Now you go back to your Chrome one, this one, okay, and go to the slaves. Click on the nodes, and can you see that cross symbol? Can you see Windows Slave connected? That's the reason it could able to fetch the data. It's a Windows operating system, and this much of space is there. All of them. Can you see this data? So this is how you can get it. Now I have successfully configured the Windows slave. Now let me try to configure one more slave, a Linux slave. Okay, Linux slave. Okay. Now what I will do? Permanent agent. Okay. And okay, now I need to provide the Linux slave data. So I have a Linux machine over here. Okay. So what I will do, I will try to create a JC directory. Okay, this folder I'll provide it here, and if it is a Linux slave, you can choose the SSH mechanism. Okay, in SSH mechanism, you need to provide the IP address of your Linux machine. ifconfig. What is the IP address of the machine? 10.192.168. This is the one. Okay, and try to provide the credentials. Okay, so let's try to have a credentials. Jenkins. Username, password. So what is the username? Vagrant. Password? Vagrant. Okay, ID is mine. Linux slave. Just add it. Can you see Vagrant added now? Okay, so once you add that, just save it. That's it. Now look at this. When you saved it, Linux slave is disconnected. Okay, you can relaunch the agent. You can just launch it from here itself. You don't need to connect to the Linux machine. You can launch it from here itself. Now it is trying to connect to that machine and run the jar file. Trying to run the client over there, and it automatically connects it. So different way of launching it for Windows and Linux. So it is clearly identified. This is a Unix agent. That's it. It's successfully connected, guys, and you can see there is no cross symbol here. Now this is another Linux slave is also successfully connected. It's okay. Now you have master and you have two Linux machine, one Linux machine, one Windows machine, and it automatically got the Linux details. Okay, can you see this? And this is the Windows details. So now you have successfully set up the entire infrastructure to perform the continuous integration builds. Now your setup is ready to perform the job. As of now, you didn't do any job. Okay, now you need to create the jobs and all. Can you say create new jobs? Okay, so these things you need to do it, and this is where you'll be performing the the continuous integration builds. Okay, so these builds and all we'll see it in the next session. For today's session, try to understand what is continuous integration, try to understand what is Jenkins, okay, and install the Jenkins, set up the Jenkins, create the slaves, configure it. Okay, so do all of them, guys. So I'm just winding up for now. Okay, so we'll catch up tomorrow and discuss furthermore. Okay, so tomorrow same time we'll try to create these jobs and all. We'll see how it works. Okay, so any questions still here? Hemant, Balu, Praveen? Okay, so if you're good, then let's try to wind up for today. Okay, thanks so much, guys. We'll catch up tomorrow.